Hello and welcome to another episode of Pumpkin Guts, where we spill our guts on everything in horror and Halloween. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Janae.
And sadly, Nick is not joining us today because he doesn't like us.
He's a loser.
He's a loser. No, he's out of town, and he also did not see the musical that we're talking about right now. We saw
Beetlejuice
right here. We saw Beetlejuice at the Dr. Phillips Center here in Orlando. And this is something that I had wanted to see for a few years. I discovered the soundtrack on Apple Music and just kind of fell in love with it. I've always been a big fan of the Beetlejuice movie, so this was kind of a shoo-in for me. And as soon as I saw it was coming to Orlando, I had to jump on it.
I was just along for the ride.
Okay, so I knew what to expect. You didn't know what to expect. So
Not from the musical side.
So coming from someone who had seen the movie but didn't know anything about the musical, what were your thoughts?
I loved it.
Did you?
I actually like the musical version better than the movie.
I think they both have their own merits. So like I think that they both tell the story in a very unique way, but I really, really like the musical.
I'd agree with that they both tell the story in their own way, but the movie isn't as memorable to me. You first introduced me to that. Gosh, what year was that? Maybe 2019?
It was 2021 because they had the Beetlejuice house at Halloween Horror
Okay,
Nights.
so that's when you introduced me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the movie was just kind of to me. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. The house, I kind of had the same feeling. We only went through it
The house
once.
got you.
Yeah, that football player.
Yeah, he scared
behind
you.
some stupid mirror scared me, but we only got to go through the house once, so I can't really say I didn't like the house, but the first run through of the house and only run through we had didn't wow me in any way.
Right.
So I guess I had heard some of the select songs through you and Sylvia.
Right.
So I knew some of the songs to expect, but...
Yeah, because I played the whole Being Dead thing like multiple times in the car.
And that's probably still my favorite song of the whole musical.
Yeah.
But I loved the musical. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny. I don't really remember laughing during the movie version.
But this
was very comedic.
It's very, very funny. If it's coming to your town, definitely go see it, because I think the production is astonishing. Like, especially for a touring production, like they had just amazing sets and set pieces, and the cast did such a phenomenal job. I don't think there was a single weak point.
No, I mean, they could all belt really well. I think the only person in the cast we didn't really hear was Charles.
Who was that?
He was the dad, Lydia's dad.
Yeah.
He's like the only one. He may have been singing, but he never had a solo, I don't think.
No, he had, I believe he has a little, like a few bits in the Deo Banana Boat song.
Yeah.
But other than that, he didn't sing too much. But let's talk about Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Justin Collette.
He was incredible.
He was.
So, like, I had seen clips of Alex Brightman, who was the original Beetlejuice on Broadway. I had seen clips of him, and I was like, man, no one's going to be able to top that. He is just so good at living in that character. This guy did fantastic.
He did.
He
did a great job, but he's also been touring as Beetlejuice for quite some time. I was looking at his Instagram, and it's been, I think, since late last year, beginning of this year. And he only took a week off, I saw, based on what he posted, to go to San Diego. But
I think he was incredibly funny. There's one line in the musical that I felt he delivered even better than Alex Brightman, or any of the times that I've seen on YouTube Alex Brightman say this line when he's talking to Adam, and he says, "I'm sorry I yelled, you just make daddy so angry." The way that he said that, I about hit the floor. It was so funny. And like, if you're a fan of Beetlejuice or Tim Burton at all, I mean, even the pre-show when everybody's just getting into the theater, the music is very eerie, and like they have spotlights
everywhere.
going all around the theater. Man, it sucks you in, because we saw Wicked not too long ago at Dr. Phillips Center, and like when you walk into the theater, nothing was happening. There wasn't any. I don't recall there being any music, and
if there was, it was so light and subtle that you didn't hear it. But the only thing I remember walking in and talking about was the dragon for Wicked, which was impressive.
Yeah,
especially hadn't seen that show either.
Yeah,
but
this, I mean, you walk in and you feel, because they also had the giant Beetlejuice sign pointing to the stage, and you're like, man, this already is awesome. And I haven't seen a lot of musicals. I've seen some of the big ones are Wicked, Hamilton, Phantom of the Opera, and for the longest time Phantom has been my favorite, but this blew it out of the water.
I really didn't think you could dethrone Phantom for you.
I think they are like neck and neck. I think Beetlejuice might have the slight edge, just because I think for an entertainment aspect of it, Beetlejuice is slightly more enjoyable and digestible, because with Phantom it's very, very musical heavy, and all the lines are sung, and sometimes it can get a little sluggish in the middle, like especially when Phantom's not on stage, but this, every time anyone was on stage, it was enjoyable. And I have to give it to the cast. They performed so well and made the character so memorable. Like from the woman who was playing Delia, who was
she was really good.
She was so funny.
She killed her song.
Yeah,
too.
And the Girl Scout Sky. Oh my God, it's just such a funny part of the musical. And I mean, look it up. I go on their website and see if it's touring near you, because we cannot recommend this enough. And especially if you are like us and went to Halloween Horror Nights 30 and you're looking for a bit of a
like a throwback to Horror Nights, or that nostalgia factor to, if you really did enjoy that house.
Yeah, if you just are jonesing for a little Horror Nights fix, I mean, this is about as close as you can get without going through an actual haunted house. And
we saw a lot of people dressed up.
Oh yeah,
as Beetlejuice.
Normally, when you go to a musical, you see a lot of people dressed very nicely, and this was not the case here. There was people dressed up as Beetlejuice. We saw people wearing HHN shirts from Beetlejuice, and they also had a pretty great drink,
the Sandworm.
The Sandworm. I don't recall what exactly was in it.
It was some type of vodka, blue curacao,
a gummy worm.
A gummy worm.
There was a gummy worm.
A splash of starry. I'm missing another big ingredient, but
a cherry. There was a cherry in there. It was fantastic. So overall, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I just want to give props to Lydia. She was played by Isabella Esler. She had just graduated from high school pretty recently and is 17 years old. We've learned that talking to the usher before the show. And as someone whose sister is aspiring to be on a stage like that, mad credit to her for being able to have such a great performance. Even though I did look it up, the cast was announced in October of 2022. And then Justin, the guy who plays Beetlejuice, posted December 1st, it's showtime. So I believe that was their first show together. Right. So they've been doing this show for 7 months, and you have to imagine it's got to be like, at some point you got to get tired of playing those characters, right? Or you feel like you are those characters more than yourselves.
Yeah.
So she did a fantastic job. And I know it's not easy being that young and touring the country to do all those shows. So huge shout out to her.
Yeah, she was so capable of just belting. And she's Lydia. She has a few major moments in the production, and also like their chemistry between Lydia and Beetlejuice was just so believable and so much fun to watch. Like I think the only word I can use to describe this entire show is just energetic. Like if you're looking for something that's it just does not stop, doesn't have a slow moment, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I agree.
So, we don't have a rating system here yet because we haven't.
Well, no, here's my rating. Of the 3 musicals I've seen on tour, Hamilton is top for me still. That's mine that I feel will never be dethroned. Then I would put Wicked second. Just because I had even less of an idea what Wicked was going to be about than Beetlejuice. And I don't know what I was expecting for Wicked, but that whole show blew me away.
Yeah,
I had so much fun.
I think the first time you see Wicked, it's always like a punch in the throat because especially if you don't know what that show is about, it's always going to knock you back.
Yeah, it was far better than I ever could have imagined. And then Beetlejuice would be third. I don't know if it'll stay third. I don't know if things will dethrone it. It was very enjoyable. I'd highly recommend seeing it. That's one. I mean, all of those 3 I could go back and see again and have just as much fun as the first time while also looking out for some things I maybe didn't catch during the first viewing.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Like I said, it's neck and neck with Phantom for me, beating out Wicked and Hamilton and a few other shows that I've seen that, just kind of have I've forgotten about. But yeah, highly recommend it if you love Horror Nights, or if you love Tim Burton, or if you just love musicals, definitely go check it out. I can't recommend it enough, and I know it is continuing on tour the rest of this year, so definitely go check it out. And I think that's going to do it for us today for this little bonus episode of Pumpkin Guts. But we will be back on Wednesday with a new episode. Nick will be here. And we are talking about our favorite non-HHN haunted houses. So come back.
Check it out.
Yeah, come back. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But until next time,
bye.
Peace.